Welcome everyone to the Campus Insider. This is a series which is for the students by the students, and I am Sanika Mate, your friend, your mentor, and your guide, hosting the third episode of the Campus Insider series. Everything you want to know about Symbiosis BBA Pune campus. We have three panelists with us: Dhruv Goyal, Guneet Singh Walia, and Twisha Agarwal, who would be enlightening us about how is the campus and everything we want to know about Symbiosis campus and the BBA as a course. What are the challenges? How smooth it would be? And you better prepare your questions with it. Okay. So, as I said, without any further ado, let's start with the introduction of our panelists here. Let's here, I don't believe in this, but here let's do ladies first. Twishal, we will start with you. Can you please introduce yourself? A little background, little profile about you, where our student understand how exactly your journey has been.
Hi guys, so I'm Twisha and I'm from Lucknow. I've done my schooling from the study hall school, and in my 10th grade, I scored a 90.5%, and in my 12th, I scored a 97%. Currently, I'm a third year student at SCMS pursuing BBA, and I'm majoring in HR marketing to be specific. That's it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Trisha. Who's next? Dhruv? Dhruv Goyal, can you go next and
Sure,
let
sure.
us know?
Hi, everybody. I'm Dhruv Goyal. I belong from Jaipur. Um, Talking about my background, I was quite an average student in my 10th and 12th grade with scoring of around 88 and 85% respectively in my CBSE boards. But I was very active when it comes to co-curricular activities, and that's why receiving the Best Outgoing Student Award along with the Head Boy recognition. So if I talk about about the SCMS journey of mine, I am the one who founded TEDx in SCMS, and I'm the lead organizer of TEDx SCMS Pune. And currently, I'm hosting the position of TEDx executive as well. About my academics at SCMS Pune, my average has been at 8.65 CGPA, and yeah, that's it about my introduction.
Oh my God, that was something like an introduction there. Thank you, Dhruv, for joining in today. And last but not the least, Guneet Singh Walia, would you be please introducing yourself?
Yes, ma'am. So, hello everyone. My name is Guneet Singh Walia. I'm born and brought up in the city beautiful Chandigarh. If I talk about my schooling details, so I studied from a well-known school, which is Delhi Public School, Chandigarh, and I pursued commerce in my 11th and 12th standard, taking maths as well as physical education. But in my percentages, in my 10th standard, I secured 93.4 percentage, and in 12th, with the grace of not having any boards exams, I got a decent 95 percentage. Currently, I am a third year student specializing in finance as well as marketing, pursuing Bachelor of Business Administration. If I talking about myself, something that I have always shown up in my interviews as well as my leadership positions in my school, which were that I was the vice head boy in my 11th standard, and I was the house captain in the final year, which is the 12th year. I have also shown some of the things in my college, being a part of the TEDx with the Dhruv only. I've been head of the Expo Management Department in IYSF. I've been also part of the COIL, having some good projects with the Brazil Technical College, FATEC. I've also showed some of the management events and showed some of the higher positions in my schooling also. About my hobbies, I'm an athlete and have represented my school, Delhi Public School, in various 100 and 200-meter races. And I am very, very fond of the sports like football as well as cricket, and love making portraits.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, with this lovely, introduction here, let me start with a basic question. I'm sure a lot of you, if who have followed the first two episodes and attended the sessions, would know that we start with We go actually at the start and we understand how was the journey. Okay, when you are thinking about symbiosis, how was the experience with set? With set, were you attempting something else as well? I am sure a lot of students would want to ask, NPAT भी दिया था, IPMAT के लिए apply किया था. What was your journey like? Okay, so here let's start with Guneet, with you. Where exactly the prep started and why you ended up, or why you decided on giving the symbiosis set
So
entrance exam?
if I be very, very honest, so I had that perception in my mind that typically it is a North area perception that after getting good marks, you get into Delhi University, you get into top colleges, and you aim for that. I had a word with my counselor like down in September, I guess, near my birthday. So he told me about all the colleges which can be opted for by giving the entrance examinations.
Okay.
And I was given a list of, so I was like not that well prepared with which college I want to go. So I was like, this is my subject which I'm pursuing right now. So you tell me which subject should I pursue further. He gave me a list of whole colleges, whole degrees which I can pursue after commerce with mathematics. Then I started seeing all the colleges. The one in my mind was I am Rohtak, it was Christ, it was Narsi Munji, as well as the Symbiosis College.
Okay.
So also I have figured out that BCom and economics was not my cup of tea. So I don't want to further pursue accountancy as a major subject, as well as economics also. So I also had some of the quarrel with my parents also because they had some inclination towards sending me to Ashoka, and they
Oh,
had the degree of economics with finance, one of the
yes.
bachelors.
Interdisciplinary major
Yeah,
with Ashoka University does. True.
yeah, yeah. But finance was what I wanted, but economics was still contrasting. Should I go? Should I not go? So I
Mm-hmm.
started preparing myself for the examinations, and after the examinations got over, luckily I got everywhere. Though I didn't opt for, I didn't go for the interview of I am Rohtak.
Okay.
By that time I was like I might get into other colleges also, so I might not go to Rohtak as a place. So
Okay.
which was a deciding factor for me.
Okay.
And then I weighed all the colleges. After getting into all the colleges, I weighed everything like factors like traveling,
Mm.
the study atmosphere, the environment, the basically the weather, because I come from Chandigarh, so the weather is quite pleasant there. And so I was very concerned about the weather, the reputation of the college. Though all of the college had some goodwill in the market, but still, like what is the standings, what is the median placement, and student hub. And especially I found in some of the article that Pune is known as the Oxford of the East. I was like, oh, I should.
Absolutely
Yeah,
correct. It's absolutely correct. And I'm sure a lot of you uh, should be aware. If not, then they should be aware that Oxford of West is what Pune is called, and it's the university hub. You would find lovely universities there. Then
yeah.
what happened?
After that I gave a lot of because this was a deciding factor before I got the interview calls from everyone. So at that time I was thinking ki if I get in this, then I'll do this. And for Christ, after knowing all the things that, especially the attendance criteria, though I have been a student, I have a award for 5 year of consecutive 100% attendance award in my school. But still I was like कि 85 might not be that kind of thing which मैं कर पाऊंगा मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा. And at last I got, as soon as I got the letter from Symbiosis, I till that time I had the Nasi Munji ka acceptance. I had acceptance from Christ also. I didn't go for the interview. So as soon as I got there, I showed my father. He was like, "You can go there." So that was the whole thought process behind coming to Symbiosis.
Fantastic. Okay, students, I'll just like to let Guneet, it was a very entertaining journey. It was very fun journey which you had, because what you experienced. Let me tell you, students, I think every one of you who are there right now in 12th preparing समझ नहीं आ रहा कौन सा कॉलेज लूं, every one of you will go through this journey कि application strategy, what he did with his counselor was preparing an application strategy, कितने कॉलेज टारगेट करूं, उस टारगेट करने के बाद में फिर जब सिलेक्ट हो गए, then which one will be the best one according to your preferences. And yes, mom dad के साथ में भी difference of opinions हो सकता है, but follow what exactly your strength is, understand what exactly you can give your 100% to, and I am sure, you know, in a year's time you would be able to secure some good results. Okay, next, let's discuss the journey, Dhruv's journey. Dhruv, how was exactly the journey for you?
Sure. So, like in the grade 12th, I decided that I have to go ahead with BBA as a program. And accounting and finance is what I love, like during my 11th and 12th. So, I had that particular vision that I have to make my career in accounting and finance, along with BBA as a stepping stone. So, I was pretty sure of that fact. Now, the deciding factor was which college to go ahead with. So, I had this thing in my mind that I'll be going ahead with a college which has a brand name associated with it, because I was like, I don't think they'll be able to teach me much in BBA, but I think the brand factor will associate that will be associated with me will help me a lot. So I had targeted NMIMS, Symbiosis, and also I had also given IPMAT for Indore and Rohtak. So I got through Rohtak. I was not able to score well in Indore, but was not able to get selected for Rohtak as well in the interview round. After that, I had like narrowed down my approach to NMIMS, Symbiosis, and Christ. So I applied for Christ in like very later stage. So I believe that was one of the reasons that I got rejected from Christ. And then I got selected in NMIMS and Symbiosis. So then I made up my mind that, you know, I have to go ahead with Symbiosis because of certain factors that made me realize that NMIMS is not that good enough for my particular profile. Because I was looking for a college that can support me through accounts and finance. And when I had a word with my mentors, accounts and finance was particularly good in Symbiosis rather than NMIMS. Because NMIMS is known for marketing and it's PGD, like postgraduate also. So that was the particular reason I went through with Symbiosis.
Great, that's great. And I like the fact that you're very clear about what exactly you wanted, and that kind of makes things very easier when you know what you're looking out for. Okay, last but not the least, Twisha, can you please let us know about your journey? How was the whole journey for you? How exactly you decided on going ahead with Symbiosis and the story?
Okay, so like towards the mid of my 12th class, I mean, everyone starts thinking of what to do next, which course to do, which college to go, which city to go to, and what exactly you need to go ahead with. So same was mine towards the mid of class 12th. I was thinking what exactly I want to do. So I was sure that I want to do either BCom or BBA, but I talked to a lot of my friends, mentors, my relatives, and professional counselors, and BBA was something that suited more of my needs. And professionally, I found it better, the course curriculum and everything, because it's more practical, I feel. And that's what everyone told me, that PG is a little bit more theoretical, but BBA is more practical. And that's what something, that's something that made me sure of, okay, this is what I'm going to BBA. Then next big step was deciding the college. So obviously I did not, so a very weird fact, so everyone applies to DU, I feel. I guess majority of the Indian population applies to DU, but I'm one of those very few people who did not even apply to DU. So obviously my parents, they weren't very willing to send me to Delhi, and I had certain personal reasons. So I did not even try to get into a DU. I did not apply to Ashoka or any other colleges, but I knew that I need to have backup. I had certain colleges in mind. So this is a tip I would give all of you here, that decide 5 colleges. Okay. I'm not saying just apply to 5 colleges, but decide 5 colleges that you aim at. Okay. And put in your efforts to prepare to get into those colleges. Know everything about those colleges. what it's about, what its vision is, what's the entrance criteria, how is the exam like, how is the interviews like, how are their placements, like everything from A to Z, and actually put in efforts to get into those colleges. So for me, I applied to Christ, NMIMS, Manipal, Bennett, and Symbiosis, and other colleges, and also IPM, Rohtak, and Indore. So my first selection was in Christ, Bangalore, main campus, and followed by Manipal and Bennett as well. So all three of them were kind of a backup only. My main priority was Symbiosis and NMIMS solely. So to choose between NMIMS and Symbiosis was a tough choice because I am a marketing sophomore and I have an inclination towards marketing and HR. And I feel NMIMS and Symbiosis both are pretty good at it. However, I feel the major factor which influenced my choice was the city. And obviously, my peers who actually gave me an advice that Pune would suit you better, and Symbiosis in itself might suit you better because Mumbai is quite a has quite a fast moving life and stuff. So you might not find it good enough to adjust there. So Symbiosis was a choice, final choice.
Fantastic. So if you kind of understand from here, all three of them, their journey was again understanding that teen se char minimum 5 se 6. You need to target colleges, you need to understand, you need to do your research, you need to speak to people, speak to counselors, your mentors, your people who you feel would be able to guide you, who have the knowledge. So this is what would be your takeaway with their journey. Start your research. Campus Insider definitely would be there, and the next two months we would have two new universities and colleges coming which would help you further. However, keep your research on. If you have questions, approach your mentors. I am sure they would be the right people to address your questions. Now, once your entrance is done, once you are into the set, uh, this is one question which has been asked by Rashi, who said that for Symbiosis, there is a group interview. Okay, and personal interview. So, how do you prepare for that? Now, this is basically the next step. Once you get the call letter, yes, you do get the call letter. But how exactly is the process after the call letter? Once you get, how is the PI experience? Trisha, let's start with you. How was your PI experience? Is it grilling? Do they kind of roast you, or is it just like a very simple cakewalk, where you just ask the normal questions?
So about group interview, we did not have group interviews during our time. It was solely the entrance test, which is set. Then you clear the personal interview, and there is a VAT. So I guess VAT was along with the entrance test, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, the personal interview was very. I mean, it wasn't grilling. I was very nervous because like these interviews, they really make me nervous. So obviously, since it was my dream college in a way, and it was my top priority. So it was something that I was actually looking forward to, and I didn't know I couldn't afford to, mess it up. So I prepared really well. I had proper guidance. I prepared, like actually looked at videos, what type of questions are asked, how to answer, what's the right answer, what's the wrong answer, what not to. So I actually prepared quite a lot. And I was actually on a vacation when I gave my personal interview. So the interviewer actually, ma'am, asked me, "Are you somewhere out? Are you in the hills or someplace?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually in a resort." So it was very chill. It was just more like a conversation. And she just wanted to know everything about me, my experiences, my leadership roles, my interests, my skills. And as a student of like straight out of school, you don't really have a lot of things to say when you actually think about it. Obviously, competitions and all are there, but when you're actually put in the spotlight and you're asked, okay, what is it that makes you unique? What is something that you would like to put it out there that, okay, I've done this, I've done that. It's not something very major, but that's the point. All the little things that you've done in your school life are actually what they want to know, are actually what separates you from the whole. So it was more like a conversation, and I told them everything, every little thing I've done. They were very curious about my dance background, that I've been learning dance since I was a child, like just an eight old. So everything was very chill. There's nothing to stress about. Just prepare well. Just know why you are in that college. Every interview that you give, you should know why you are there. and you should know what you want to get out of it. And that's what they want to know. And rest, everything is a very smooth flow process, nothing to worry about.
Absolutely. Rashi says thank you. You're most welcome, Rashi. We will have more information for you. Dhruv, you are the person who have kind of started the TEDx for SCMS.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, I'm sure that requires a lot of confidence. Was it like a very smooth journey when it comes to the Symbiosis PI as well for you? Was it just a regular conversation?
Okay, so the fact that I would like to mention here is that I'm also a IMS UG student. So when I got
All
the
right.
call letter from IMS, so like teachers were behind my back to grill everything out of me, because they were grilling me in every interview. So I was so prepared for each interview, because the question that the interviewer or the panelist asked was already being prepared by the mentors. So the mentor would have asked me that particular question. So I was very prepared for the interviews. And like the kind of questions, like the experience that mentor had, that helped me a lot in the interviews, because I was told that they'll ask you questions from economics, from mathematics, from all your subjects, from what you have done. So because my resume also had a national debate competitions. I used to give debates. I used to go in elocutions. So questions from that side also. So if you're giving elocution, you should be aware about economics. If you're giving elocution, you should be aware about what is happening in political scenario of the country. So they also prepared me in that particular background. And they would ask you certain questions which are tricky in nature. For let's say, what party do you support for the particular elections? So you have to be very diplomatic in those answers, because you cannot go ahead and say you support that party. So I believe, yeah, the interview process was quite easy for me, not very difficult, but yeah, they grilled a little bit.
Rishan is asking what kind of questions you are asked in the interview. Rishan, see, interviewer and the way your conversation goes. Uh, as Dhruv said, it's about what you say, even in terms of politics, in terms of what subject you take, as Twisha mentioned. But what my suggestion would be, you would come to that point, where you would kind of prepare with your mentors. But what my suggestion to everyone, all the students, even parents who are listening, write down a good answer for tell me something about yourself. This would be a question which would come to you if you're applying for 6 universities, 6 colleges, and there is a PI. Trust me, this will be one question which all 6 interviews would start with. Okay, so that will be one question. And again, I am sure Guneet would actually provide us with more meat in terms of what question he went through, and you can just make a list of it. All right. So, Guneet, can you please help us in terms of what your interview experience was?
So basically, I was taking coaching from Hit Bullseye in back
Mm-hmm.
in Chandigarh, which was going in an online mode. As I told you earlier, also that at the later stages, I got to know that there's some entrance examination. So I just rushed with
Mm-hmm.
all the syllabus. And when I started getting the interview call, I didn't ask them for any interview preparation. So I just went through the Christ interview, and which gave me a little bit of glimpse of how it will go like. And the basic questions I expected from that interview also was asked in Symbiosis also. But I had before my Symbiosis interview, because that was something which I wanted very much. Uh, I had one thing in mind, so I just called my mentor in Hit Bullseye and asked, what are some key pointers which I should address in my, what should I say about myself and how to give such tricky questions. And he was just started laughing at me and he was like, be Guneet, Guneet, just be yourself. And I'm like, "You okay, sir?" I'm like, but something informative I need. Like, be Guneet Singh Wali. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just start for the interview. And the interview does just the basic things like what are the things I can do. Like, I had some pointers made, like leadership can be a pointer, the college can be a pointer, the percentage can be a pointer, like basic pointers, which at the time you're addressing the thing, you can't remember every pointer. Get it? You can jot it anywhere. Luckily, if you are in an online mode, interview will always take in an online mode. You have some competitive advantage over the interviewer also. You can get it written in your hand, you can do it anywhere. Nowadays everything is there in the net. So some things like which can be used, I didn't use, like I got some of the insights from my friends, but you can use the pointers. Other than that, I have been an athlete myself. So at that time Olympics was going on. So which what I was asked was ki one of the team from Asia came fourth, which is like one of the highest in the relays, 4 into 100-meter relays. Name them. And by chance, I was very lucky at that day that I was just filling my water bottle and going upstairs, and my dadu's like, "Ki, do you know such news has come?" And he started reciting the names, which I couldn't recollect everything, but it was like someone's name, someone's surname. I could get all four of them when I was telling to them. So it was like a very chill process. Some things which everyone tell you that be confident, be yourself, that won't help. It is just like before the interview, 1 day or 1 hour, lock yourself in a room. Just start thinking about what is, for example, someone's name is, my name is Guni Singh Walia. I start thinking ki, what I have done till now. So that is what will help you.
Absolutely. That is what would help you. So, what you need to do is you just need to be yourself. You need to make sure that you know yourself better to answer the questions better. Tell me something about yourself. Just write it down. Whenever you feel कि अरे मेरे पास करने के लिए कुछ नहीं है, start writing about tell me something about yourself. Okay? And I'm sure you would be able to at least be well prepared, before you actually reach that point, read that interview chair point. And yes, if you're applying for economics, if you're applying for BBA, if it's anything what you're applying for, Trisha wants to add something. Trisha, please go ahead.
Yeah, so just to be specific, since one of the students asked what questions are asked, so I prepared a lot for it, right? So I know certain set of questions which are asked in which were asked to me myself in every interview. First is obviously tell me about yourself. Then make 10 drafts. Okay, just keep every day sit down and read that draft and improvise. Okay, it's not be like you just write it once and it's the final thing. Don't do that. Every time just sit on it, improve it, write, add more things, delete more things, and keep it short and crisp. But understand that that is your first impression on the interviewer. So it is actually one of the most important uh, part or period of your whole entire interview. Second is know your strengths and weaknesses. There is a very high chance they will ask you what are your strengths and weaknesses. And I'm telling you, on this, you cannot come up with an answer. You need to actually sit and analyze and think about it. What is your actual strength and weakness? And do not give a very boring, mundane answer which every other interviewee will give. You need to come up with something unique at least, okay? Even if it's something not, uh, you know, just never mind. Just come up with something, strength or weakness. And third would be just be prepared, okay? Because everything you are saying, it might be followed by a cross question. So you can't just lie in the interview. You can't just say anything that comes in your mind. You need to be prepared to cross answer that question because the interview can actually trick you into that situation and they can cross question you and you might not be able to answer it back. It's actually a lie. Even if it's the truth, you might not have the answer. And if you don't have the answer, just be confident and say that I am sorry, but I don't know the answer. Don't lie or don't hesitate or don't get nervous. And just you need to also have a certain basic level of general knowledge because they will ask you questions and whatever interest you have. If like for me, I have dance as my interest. I've been learning dance since I was an 8-year old. So for me, my mentor told me you should know. I didn't know the technicalities. Okay, I didn't know who are the famous dancers of India, what is the famous forms and all that. I didn't have much theoretical knowledge, but my mentors very emphasized on the fact that I should know everything about dance since it's something I've been doing since I was an 8-year old. So whatever your interests are, make sure you know the major information about it. So yeah.
Fantastic. I am sure this is a good food for thought for everyone. I am sure you, once you reach that particular point, students and specifically parents, once your child reaches that point, if yes, if there's a mentor who's guiding, he would get all the questions again. However, it's always better to prepare. Preparing is, a little beforehand would be the key. Now, after the entrance exam and after your PI is done, you get a call. Uh, then there is this first day. You all are batch for what, 2020? 2020, right? You joined
Yeah,
Symbiosis first year,
2021, 20.
2021,
2021.
which was basically the lockdown year. So your first day was basically online, right? What I
Definitely.
want, so how was, I'm sure the campus experience would be a little different there because campus jana hi nahi hua hai. But how was the first year of learning the BBA as a course online, in terms of the academic wise? In terms of, was it difficult because after 12th, when you enter a course like BBA, there are new subjects what you all come across. Difficult tha cope up karna, or is it like you got the support and you were able to settle down easily? Let's start with Dhruv here.
Sure. So basically, in the first semester, they'll teach you basics that you have learned in class 11th and 12th, because it's a business school and they expect you to, know those basics, what you have learned in 11th, 12th, commerce. However, there are some students who didn't had commerce or are from arts background or from science background. So to teach them those basics for the first semester, they'll teach you with accountancy basics. They'll teach you with business basics. So they'll go ahead with basics of every subject, like marketing, like accounts, like finance and entrepreneurship. So there are cluster of subjects that they provide you, and they'll teach you basics. Secondly, in the second semester, they'll go on a higher level for those particular subjects only, like
Okay.
on all of the, from all of the 7 specialization, like entrepreneurship, finance, accounting, marketing, HR, and everything. In the third and the fourth semester, they will provide you with a choice. That is the second year, they'll provide you with a choice. Now you have learned in the first semester that, these are the specialization we are offering, and we have given you a taste of every subject. Now it's up to you what subjects you'd like to go ahead with. So it's up to you what, like, let's say I'll pick entrepreneurship along with finance, or I'll pick HR along with marketing. So now the choice is with me. Say I'm
Oh,
not good with entrepreneurship, I'll not go ahead with it. I'll go ahead with finance. So that is the case. What happens at Symbiosis? So in the second year, we get the choice. In the first year, they are just clearing out our basics.
great. So because it was online, I mean, did you find the Symbiosis Pune faculty supportive because
Yeah,
everything is
absolutely.
online?
Yeah,
Okay.
like it was also new for faculty, right? Like the COVID-19 was new for everybody.
Absolutely.
But like they were very supportive, like the projects they were giving, or the meetings that we were having. Like I remember we had this professor who gave us the first project as an icebreaker project, because he also understood that we won't be able to meet for a long period of time,
True.
and it's important to make friends. So the first project in economics we got was to make friends. Now it's up to you. You make it however you make a video. He didn't care. It was his like opinion to make friends in the first project. So they were very supportive because it was new for everyone. It was new for us and it was new for them. And like every platform was checked. Like they were using Zoom, they were using Google Classrooms, and they were using Microsoft Teams as well. And they were providing recorded lectures, and like they were very supportive throughout the COVID era. We also have this academic cell which also provided us with past year question papers, past
Hmm.
year like notes of every subject, so that we don't lack in the COVID-19 period.
Fantastic. Anybody would like to add, Twisha, Guneet, were you had the similar kind of an experience in terms of projects in the first year? Was it difficult for either of you to cope up? Would you like to add something to this particular question?
Yeah, so to talk about that, so only our first semester was online. So I'm actually quite glad that the first time was online because we actually got the opportunity to, meet people before actually being on campus. So with in on the in the comfort of our home, we actually made friends through, there were a lot of projects. So in the first year, it might seem overwhelming, but it's actually in a good way, okay? Because you, so there are a lot of experiences new experiences that you get into, a lot of projects, a lot of assignments and all, but it's not something that's not manageable. Because obviously, when you are in college, it's not the same environment as when you were in school. Okay, school mein you were just limited to studies and a certain set of extracurricular activities. I don't think there were three projects. But once you get into college, obviously they expect something out of you because they are making you as a business student, right? They want you, they are sending you into the corporate world, they are sending you into the real world. So you're supposed to be equipped with certain set of skills. So you get to do projects, you get to attend, different lectures and all. But it's very manageable. It's very convenient. You just need to have a balance. Balance. You need to balance your life, okay, with your social life and your academic life, okay. Because if you're not doing that, you will fail out. And you will like not fail, like you will get a setback, okay, and it will be tough for you to cope up with it. So as long as you're managing your time well, you're good to go.
Fantastic. Guneet, आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे?
Yes, ma'am. So one of the perception which all the faculty had from the day one to I'll be like almost between my semester 5 till now, they don't expect you to be a good manager because they well they know in their mind that you are here to learn how to be a manager. Very much difference. They take you through the process, and luckily one of the things which I expected from the course, it is what was delivered to us, which was the fact it is a generic course.
Hmm.
If it is giving you in the second year a basket of 6 specialization, it is giving you a one bite of every sabji, like in a thali. It's giving you
So it's a buffet. You're saying कि
yeah,
ये buffet जैसा है.
yeah.
Hmm.
So it is giving you a good buffet. And as Dhruv and Twisha mentioned, that there was a lot of subjects which was like in from basic to intermediate levels for those students who are coming from the engineering, from humanities and other backgrounds, medical backgrounds. And further, the faculty was very, very supporting throughout the whole process. And projects thing, everyone had a different kind of opinion. What was mine was, in schooling we have that system of we have a half yearly exam, then we have final exams, and between that some exams keeps on taking place.
True.
The best thing about Symbiosis was there is no half yearly thing, which is still followed in many colleges. When I talk to my friends back in Chandigarh, in Jaipur and other areas, so they have that half mid-term exams and the final term exams. Here, the whole thing has been replaced with the 40 marks in the starting, and in this current semesters, and the 30-mark component, which will be further segmented into various MCQs, can be projects, can be experiential learning project. And experiential learning projects in some subjects is like you have to talk to someone, and that thing in a group of 10 people, like tu baat kar, aise karenge, wo karenge. That whole process takes your mind and grooms it in another atmosphere and another way, like too good in itself.
Very nice. Acha, I have, I get questions from my students. Students who come from like small villages or possibly tier 2, tier 3 cities. They tend to be like, ma'am, बहुत difficult हो जाएगा. BBA can be a little difficult. Okay. So is it something which is a difficult aspect, or once you take up this particular course, you will it will not be like too much heavy? So Dhruv, would you like to possibly give us a perspective कि ये बहुत difficult course है बच्चों के लिए? Not, I would not say बच्चे, but definitely 12th के बाद में, if a student is considering BBA, is it something which a average student would be able to manage pretty easily?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a heavy course at all because everything that you're learning is revolving around the business world. Let's say you're sitting in a marketing class. They'll teach you with marketing case studies. What happened with Zomato? What happened with Reliance Industry? Let's say I'm a finance major, I'm majoring in finance and accounts. They teach me through balance sheets of different companies. They teach me through, like they'll go ahead with Yahoo Finance and they'll analyze the stock prices of Zomato Limited. So that's how the teaching method is. So they'll teach you in a way that you can relate it in your business environment. What's happening? Why Reliance separated Geo platforms? Why Reliance separated Geo Finance? What is happening with Geo and BlackRock? So that's how they'll teach you. They'll provide you a specific time to go ahead on the stage. There's a stage in the classroom, in every classroom. They'll provide you with a specific time to go ahead and speak on the topic that the professor has given you. Because in the end, it's a collaborative learning. Like everyone is learning from your perspective. I might learn from Twisha's perspective. I might learn from Gunit's perspective. I might learn, in the end of the day, I'm learning someone else's perspective.
True.
And there's professor sitting in the class will like correct me if I'm wrong. So that is how we learn, because there's no limited syllabus of every subject. Like there's no limited syllabus. You go to the library, there are infinite number of books, and like you can, obviously you will have to strategize for your exams, but like it's kind of very easy to manage all of the subjects.
Great. Okay, now before we move to a very important question, which everybody would want to know, would like to know, does everybody want to know? I just need a quick raise of hand about the dress code in Symbiosis BBA Pune. Right, Neve said yes. Wow. So we have everybody who wants to know about the dress code. We would come to that particular question, students. But before that, we have a lot of questions accumulated in the Q&A. Let's quickly look at that. And this would be my next question to you. Okay. A lot of questions here. Okay. An anonymous attendee is asking, what is more important, 12th marks or entrance marks? Now, it depends upon where you are applying. For example, if you go with NM Nitivibe, which is which is right now coming under the purview of CUET exam, they would actually take 50% of your CUET marks and they will take 50% for your 12th marks. The same thing would change with Symbiosis. Symbiosis would ideally take completely as your Symbiosis score. However, for you to apply for Symbiosis, 12th marks बहुत जरूरी होंगे. So it would not mean कि 12th नहीं किया अच्छा तो चलेगा. You need to focus on 12th. Without that minimum eligibility, you will not be able to apply for the subject. So with the same thing which would be there for NMIMS as well, which is the NPAT, a certain eligibility criteria is required for every subject and course you would go for. So whenever you apply, make sure, even for IPM for that matters, certain eligibility criteria. 12th marks bottom line बहुत जरूरी है. Keep the focus on entrance की तैयारी करते रहो और बोर्ड पे से फोकस अभी फिलहाल नहीं हटना चाहिए. Next question by Arihant Jain. Ma'am, could you please briefly tell us about BSc Eco and Finance better than BBA Finance? I am aiming for Shiv Nadar University and through giving SNU SAT exam. Arihant, we will come to that particular question a little later because it's going to be comparison of uh, two courses altogether. You would be able to get BSc Eco with with which better I think we would be able to connect, and possibly we would be able to speak a little bit more detail. I need to understand what your strengths are so I can address that question to you. I'll send my details and we can connect. Rishan is asking, Symbiosis is a college I am aiming. That is great. Good choice, Krishan. So I wanted to know how did you all prepare your schedule to crack the exam? I think this is something which a lot of students would ask कि board exams के साथ में entrance exam prep कैसे किया? So ये quickly who would be able to answer? Dhruv, can you please quickly answer that question? What was your schedule like?
So, like I've, as I already told that I was like pursuing with IMS as well for my UG preparations. So most of the time, like what I used to devote is like the first half of the day I would go ahead with my school routine and would come back from the school, and the second half of the day I would devote to my UG preparations. Like this includes coaching, self-study, and everything. So like what my strategy in grade 12th was that I used to finish school's work in the school time as well. So like I was not like taking anything from school, like homework or projects, to my home schedule, because I was of the opinion if I take it from the home, take it to the home schedule, I won't be able to finish my UG preparations. So in the recess time or in the any free time that I got in the school, I used to finish that work over there. And for the UG preparations, I used to devote my second half of the day.
Fantastic. Uh, was it similar for Guneet and Trisha? Trisha, was it the same for you, or were you like dedicating a certain time for yourself कि बस आज entrance exam की तैयारी करेंगे, आज हम लोग 12th की पढ़ाई नहीं करेंगे?
No, definitely not. It was a balance between the two. Obviously, since it was the COVID time, so our situation was very different from what you are. It was easier, I feel, in a way, because I didn't personally have to go to school a lot. It was mostly hybrid, or the classes had ended by the time I was starting to prepare for my entrance exams for UG. So I had a lot of time to focus on the entrance exam preparations, but my sole focus till the time the boards weren't over were on boards only. After the boards got over, because we had a lot of time, a huge gap between when the boards got over and the actual exams were being conducted, from what I remember. So I had quite a lot of sufficient time to focus on that. However, even during class 12 boards, like before they started, so majority of my time was towards boards because 12 marks matter. But towards right, like the second half, end of the second half, I did devote like 1 or 2 hours towards my entrance prep. So VA was something that I was focusing on because quant I had math in 11th and 12th, so I didn't think it was going to be an issue. Even though it's basic math, but I thought that I could deal with it. So VA was something because reading is important, okay, so that you all RCs and the vocab part. So VA was something and LR was something that I was focusing on before both.
Fantastic. So I hope everybody is making a note. बहुत questions हैं. So we will take up the next question here. Jaina is asking, what is the proper process of getting into the college with entrance exam? Also, what would be the deadlines? Um, Normally, Jaina, proper process, there is nothing as a proper process. The process is similar for all the universities, I guess. Certain universities would have entrance exams, certain universities would not have entrance exam. But the process is, it will be starting with an application form. Once the application form is done, then there will be an entrance exam. Once that is done and everything becomes as a, first round, and then the second round is the entrance exam, then it goes as a personal interview, and that's when you get admitted. Deadlines, normally by December, NM Symbiosis, NMIMS started with their application process in December. Symbiosis came up sometime in the month of January, but by the year end and by the first, few months of the next year, the application forms would be available. If you are on the Telegram channel, you will get all the updates there. Make sure you join the Telegram channel, because as and when the deadlines are available, it is something which we provide you. We send you a ultimate guide which will have all the deadlines for all the universities, with form filling videos, with everything you need. I will mention the Telegram channel. Please make sure you join it for the updates. Hope that answers the question. Advait is asking, uh, what is the cutoff percentage for Symbiosis? Advait, it changes every year. This year, let's look at around 35, 36. Again, this is changeable. ये change होगा next year, because that depends upon the quality of students, how you write the exam. अगर बहुत सारे अच्छे बच्चों ने अच्छे अच्छे paper लिखे, entrance अच्छा दिया, the scores will definitely go up. But make sure you all are preparing and doing your best, because if you're giving your best, तो फिर कम scores आएंगे, उसकी tension ही नहीं होगी, है कि नहीं? Let's go with the next one. Pratham is asking, if your English is not so good, will the interview part would be challenging? Okay, I think Pratham, English is not good, is something which we feel by ourselves. Okay, when you speak English because you feel you're not good with it, हम बात नहीं करते. और English अच्छी कैसे होगी? Once we start speaking. So it's not that they want you to come with an absolute impeccable and very polished English. No, In India, I think with different cities, you would not find people having completely polished English. You would have a little mother tongue influence, which is your normal, like a Maharashtrian will talk in a certain style, a South Indian, person would talk in a certain style. It would be available, but what you need to try is you need to make sure that कम से कम जो आंसर आपको पूछे गए हैं वो आंसर आप बहुत ही easier way में इंग्लिश में communicate कर पाओ. And that's exactly what they want, and it will only come with practice. So if any of my students here feel कि english इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, start practicing, start speaking with someone in english, and I'm sure you would reach there. Next question. We have next question. What are the placement packages and how are the placements? I would come to that question. It is towards the end, so we will take that question. I'm parking that question right now, Vani. How do you all prepare for the set entrance? Any tips and tricks you will suggest that we must keep those points in mind? Vanshika, I think this question is something which we just picked up a while back and it was answered. Uh, Tips and tricks? Quickly, who would be able to give some tips and tricks for preparing for set? Anybody would be able to give some tips and tricks for preparing for set? Dhruv, would you be able to
I'll take
start
it
and
up.
provide us with some information? Yes, please go ahead.
So if you're enrolled in the IMS program, I'm pretty sure that they'll help you with the timetable and a proper work. But if you're preparing it yourself, then even that's fine. So focus on, so there are three main sections. So there is LR and DI, there is font, and there is VA, right? So font is basic maths that you have learned after sixth class till 12th class. Okay, so it's very basic, percentage, profit and loss, and all those basic concepts. So you can get books outside, or the IMS will provide you materials. Your respective coaching will provide you the sufficient material that you can refer to. Make a timetable, divide that this is the amount of time I have to spend on this section, this is the amount of time I have to in this section. So divide your time as per your strengths and weaknesses. If quant is your area if of perfection, then focus less on quant, focus more on the other sections. But make sure that you are focusing equally on all the sections because you need to score well. VA for VA, you need to read. So whenever you get time, just pick up a newspaper, pick up a book, pick up an article. There are a lot of websites that you can go to where you can read articles so that your vocabulary is at a decent level and your reading comprehension is at a decent level. Solve RCs, it actually helps overall in VA. LRDI also, there is study material that you can refer to. So as long as you're consistent with your studies, preparing for a UG entrance isn't that big of a deal. But you need to actually put in effort to study. You can't just sit in the exam and just expect to score good. You need to put in efforts and be consistent, and you're good to go.
Adi, there is a list, big list of VAT questions. Time arrives for all our students to go for the interview. We make sure that we provide this list to our students, so they prepare beforehand, and the topic list would actually be pretty long. But don't worry, it can be about the current business. It can be about the awards which are being given, the global warming, the political scenario, and it will range. It will range, it will vary. So that when the time comes, the information would be provided. Harsh Rathod is asking, are private college better or government for graduation? Is it worthy to invest a good amount of money for graduation in private college? Hmm. Harshita, I can answer this question. I think I'm sure a lot of parents also have this question. कि private अच्छा है या government अच्छा है? It all depends upon what exactly your requirements are. अगर आपको ये लगता है कि I don't really want to spend anything right now, I would rather save my money and I would give that 100% and possibly secure in IIMs and doing an MBA, then go ahead and do a government college. And I think you will still get a good grade. You would be able to achieve and kind of take it into an ABC IIM. So it is more subjective. Which one is better? Government colleges, you would find some real good government colleges where the quality of education is unmatchable. But again, private university would again have its own pros and cons. So it is more subjective. So, ye upon your requirement, you can choose which one will be better. All right. Now we do have again quite number of questions. So, can you take two specialization in BBA? Okay. Turisha, would you be able to help us with this question? In the
Yes.
second year for BBA in Pune, Symbiosis, can you take two specialization?
Yeah, so in Symbiosis, we have a dual specialization program. So it's your choice, but either you take dual, either you take single, or you do a general BBA. It's completely on you. But if you take two specializations in your second year, if you think it's too overwhelming for you, you don't want to do two specializations, you want to drop out one, you can do that in third year. But if you want to switch to another specialization in the third year, you can't do that. You may drop out one specialization or both specializations, but you cannot switch between specializations. Once you make the choice, you have to do that only. So yeah.
Okay. Anybody would like to possibly add? Dhruv, would you like to add something to that particular question when it comes to specialization is concerned?
So yeah, like as Trisha correctly mentioned, we are given a plethora of specializations to select from. So it's entirely your choice what you have to go ahead with, and your what are your career plans. Like let's say I want to do a career in accounts and finance, and I don't get along with any other subject in particular. So I personally chose accounts and finance as a single specialization. But let's say I'm good in marketing as well. I'm looking out for career options in marketing, but I'm also good in accounts and finance. So I merged them. I'll go ahead with accounts and finance along with marketing. That is the option that Symbiosis provides you. So for single specialization, I have the advantage of selecting electives from every specialization. Let's say for this semester, I selected electives from entrepreneurship. In the previous semester, I liked the subject from marketing, so I selected electives from marketing. So it's entirely your choice what your career plans are and where you want your career to lead in. So it's up to you.
Okay.
Symbiosis will provide you with the specializations.
Okay. Fantastic. Now let's take a break and just address the question which everybody wants to know. Guneet would be able to help us with this question. Guneet, dress code क्या है? Is it like jeans नहीं चलेगी, t-shirts नहीं चलेंगे? Uh, what exactly is the dress code?
So SCMS, as correctly mentioned, is a management college. So it is basically shaping us for our life post college. So there is a system of professional behavior, a lot of professional behavior. So we are required to follow such criterias, which goes as follows: like on Mondays, for at least our semester, when we were in the second year as well as the first year, the things were not similar. In the first year, we had something like 2 days of formal and rest 3 days of the college we had as casual. The same was followed in my second year also, but as soon as we went to the third year, we got a revised email regarding the dress code, which updated it and which had, like, for the first 2 days, Monday and the Tuesday, we have to wear the uniform which has been provided by the college to us.
Uniform.
Yeah, we have a uniform. It is not mentioned that we have to wear ties every day, but we have a full uniform with a blazer, the pant, the shirt, and the tie.
And
And
what kind of color it is
it
for
is
the
white,
uniform?
as white with a navy blue.
White with the navy blue. Okay.
Yeah.
So casuals allowed नहीं है मतलब
And no,
ऐसे.
ma'am, it is allowed. For the rest of Wednesday and Thursday, we have the formal wear. It can be anything with a pant and for girls, they have the privilege of wearing kurtis with pants, with jeans, anything. And on Friday, we have casual wear. In casual wear, we are not allowed, the girls are not allowed some short dresses, some low waist, and such stuff. For boys, we don't have some transparent and typical shirts, like excessively oversized, yeah, fit tight. They don't allow that kind of t-shirts and shirts. Otherwise, everything is good to go.
Okay. Trisha is very excited to answer. Even Dhruv, yes, please, we want more information. Everybody, all my students are waiting. कि dress code क्या है? Trisha, would you be able to provide a perspective to our girls here attending, uh, the session? What's exactly allowed and not allowed?
Yeah, so I know that a lot of students have this major concern, what is the dress code. So I like to be a little bit honest here. So there is a proper format and proper division of what you're supposed to wear, what you're not supposed to wear. But trust me, it is not that serious. Okay. And I mean, okay, so there is a uniform, but it's not mandatory for you to wear that uniform only. So I have never worn my uniform. Every Monday, Tuesday, whenever I go to college, I just wear my own white t-shirt and I wear any black or dark color trousers that I like. Okay, it shouldn't be jeans, it shouldn't be denim. It can be any formal trousers that you'd like to wear that are comfortable for you, because not everyone finds comfort in the uniform. And blazer is not a mandatory thing. Blazer only becomes mandatory for certain seminars or some formal lectures, which where you're supposed to, be dressed as a management student. And on the other days, that is on the rest of the 3, 4 days, even you can sometimes they let you go in. Okay, yeah, as long as you are you're dressed in a socially acceptable way, you can wear whatever you want, and it is not that strict. But some they can be very strict with it, and they will literally send you back. Even though if you have a test or something very important, they will not let you enter, and you have to exit the building and you have to go change and come back. But it's not the case always. The only strict thing that is actually followed is the ID card. You always have to carry your ID card for safety purposes. But the uniform is not that strict. You just have to be dressed in a socially acceptable. And jeans in general, I feel, and crop tops and all are not acceptable. Kurtis and Indian wear you can wear any day, anytime you want. So yeah.
All right. I think that was a very detailed information. So dark color trousers and jeans is the best bet if you're looking at symbiosis, people. Dhruv, you raised your hand. Would you like to add something? कुछ और जो शायद दोनों ने मिस किया हो?
Yeah, so basically, the motive behind the dress code of Symbiosis is to make it very clear that we are a business school and not a fashion school. So they just want to make that point very clear. Ki if you are a business student, behave like a business student, not a fashion student. Because if you want to behave like a fashion student, go in a fashion school. That's what Symbiosis is all about. So because you get the zeal and that thing to, like, if I'm going in a meeting, or let's say if I'm, there are a lot of meetings happening in the college itself. So if I'm attending TEDx meeting, if I'm attending any club meeting, I need to be there and present something. So if I'm presenting something in front of the faculty, I need to be in a blazer. I need to be smart. I need to be, in that business casuals, so that I can get that zeal to present. I can get that zeal to say something, because in the end, they're preparing you for the placements, for your life after college. So I believe I totally support their decisions.
All right. So I think that was a very important question, and that has been taken up already. Now, your first, we kind of understood about the first year, about how the course goes and whether it's difficult or no. What we also have this question about the second year in regards with how many subjects do you get to choose in the second year? So, Dhruv, would you be able to possibly answer what kind of subjects or how many subjects do you get to answer? This question has been asked by Priyali. She wants to know how many subjects.
Okay, so there are, I believe, 6 to 7 specialization, namely entrepreneurship, accounting and finance, HR, marketing, along with EVS, like environmental studies. And there's one more subject if I'm missing, if Twisha and Gunit, if you can add.
Guneet, Twisha, please Dhruv ko batao which is one subject I think he's skipping on.
Entrepreneurship, I guess. Did I say entrepreneurship? So basically, there are
Yes,
6 to 7
six to
7.
seven specialists. Okay.
So in those particular specialization, you get different subjects to choose from that particular industry or that particular domain.
Oh, that's great. And then in the second year itself, you get to choose the specialization.
Yes, the specialization also, the specialization and the timetable, like along with that specialization, according to that particular specialization.
Okay. In that case, are the professors available to help you pick up the specialization? Matlab, I feel that I am good for possibly an HR, but I'm not too sure. Is there someone whom any student can walk up to and ask for help कि I don't know what is my strength. Can you help me out with it?
Actually, in that case, obviously professors are always available, but I believe I relied on my seniors a lot, because seniors
Okay.
are always there in the campus, and you can, if you are good with seniors, like if you had a good rapport with seniors, you can always talk to them. I have this kind of a strength. What should I go ahead with? Or I want my career in that particular domain. What should I go ahead with? How are the professors of that particular subject? Should I go ahead with that subject? How is Symbiosis known for this particular subject? I can, uh, like if I name, there's this professor of HR. I had no relation with HR, but I used to, talk with her a lot about what specialization I should go ahead with. So professors are
Okay.
always there, and I had a good rapport with my seniors also.
So in that case, which particular specialization beneath आपने सुना हो, which is, even Gauri is asking this question, which is that specialization which is supposed, which is very famous or which would be helpful?
Ma'am, if I talk about Symbiosis, so as Trisha earlier mentioned that there is a dual specialization which we can opt for, which I am also opting. So I am
Mm-hmm.
having a mix of both of them subjects. I have marketing as well as finance with me. So uh, can you go again with the question?
Yeah, sure. Specialization, which one among the specialization list do we have? Which specialization or which courses with specialization options is the best ones? जो ज्यादा से ज्यादा बच्चे ऑप्ट करते हैं या जो बहुत बेनिफिशियल है आपके हिसाब से या आपने जो सुना हो उसके हिसाब से?
Now the specializations come to 2 pointers. Like everyone have two kind of perspective. One is what they want to do in future and what they feel comfortable with, and what sometimes is associated with what the peers are taking, what is good for placements, and because both of them are to some extent very different. As I talk about the placements here, so there is a lot regarding the marketing as well as finance. There's a lot of opportunities there. The student who is opting for IB and thinking that I'm very good in economics might be convinced that the placement might come for this company. So I might take this. So if I talk about Symbiosis, finance and marketing can be individual, can be in a mixture of having a dual specialization is very famous. Though we can also see the students opting for finance with international business IB, but these are the major three combinations which I have seen in this campus.
Okay, that's great. Now, with the specializations, once we are speaking about specialization, I hope that particular question has been answered, Gauri, for you. Uh, Now let's talk about, the festival. We have Dhruv with us, who is kind of heading the TEDx SCMS. So let's talk about the academic say move. Okay, let's talk about the extracurricular. Okay, we have a lot of students who are talking about sports, festivals. So clubs, I'm sure all these things will kind of help you build up your personality. So what exactly is the festival, what you experienced after going into the campus? How is the festival in Symbiosis?
Okay, so I believe the first day you step in the campus, and the whole induction week goes in. So every club, every committee, every cell, or fest owners or fest heads pitch what they're providing you, and it's your choice what you want to step in. So there are around 10, 11 clubs like going on. There are committees, there are cells, and we have the Pune's biggest fest also, that is Simples. So with around footfall of around 52,000 plus footfall. So so there are different clubs. Let's say there is Academy, there is Dramebas for that's the theater society. We have the singing society with Encore. We have, I guess, E-Cell, that is entrepreneurship cell. We have Initiate. We have Monitrix for finance. Uh, we have photography club, that is Panorama, and the dance club Step Up, the debating club Symposia, or the marketing club Think Tank. So if I go ahead with committees, we have TEDx committee, which I founded. We have in cells, we have R&D cell. We have placement cell. You can be a part of placement cell. You can be a part of internship and career development cell. You can be a part of Simples in the first year as well. So there are a lot of things happening on the campus in the first year itself. So in the first year, there's a thing called CultCom, which is like a creative part of like apart from academics. There is Conocenza, which is a business event, like a 3-day straight business event, which is inter first years. So every division participates in that. Same goes with CultCom, but on a creatives perspective. So like your first year will be, I guess, obviously will be academically rich along with co-curricular rich, because the first half of the first year will be Conocenza, and then you'll have CultCom, and then you'll be participating in a lot of clubs, a lot of cells, then you'll have Simples, then you'll have TEDx, and so a lot of things are happening on the campus.
Great. That's really great. What about what about the sports? Is it equally apart from the artistic and all these clubs which you mentioned, even the sports committee or the sports side of Symbiosis is very active?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we have a proper dedicated sports committee. We have a lot of competitions going on for the sports committee. Like we have athletes who have represented India actually, players like who have represented India in various sports, and we have won medals and trophies in those particular sectors. So there's the sport committee which is involved in cricket. I think the sports committee is recently organizing a rugby competition. So like it's inter SIU, like every college from SIU will come to our campus for the rugby competition. So we
Interesting.
have,
Very interesting. Please go on, Dhruv. Please go ahead. You were saying something.
yeah, so we have this dedicated sports committee, which organize these kinds of things. Also recently they organized a proper fest for like a sports fest, which included a lot of activities. It included swimming, it included cycling, it included badminton as a sport, it included cricket competition. So it was a like, I believe you guys must have watched that Karan Johar's specific movie, which involved, like college students participating in a
Student
lot.
of the year.
Yeah, student of
I'm
the
a
year.
movie buff. Yes.
Yeah. So it was a kind of a that competition. So every first year were fighting with second years were fighting with third years. So that was going on the whole 3 to 4 days.
Fantastic. We again have accumulated a lot of questions. So let me quickly take up the questions and let's start with the Q&A box here. What is the best time to apply for a college? December, January, as I did mention, Tarun, a while back. December, from December, the application season would start and universities will start opening up. Ashoka, Kriya, they will start sometime in the month of October. But the best time for Symbiosis would be sometime in January, December. That's when they would start with their application. Can you tell me more about the internship and industry exposure? That's going to be my next question, which is all about placement and internship. Kaushik, just be a little patient. Is the process of admission different for NRIs as well? Uh, no. The process is not different, but yes, the cutoff and the way you kind of pay would be a little different there. Nitita. Krish is asking, we have Vanshika asking, is there an option for specialization in economics in Symbiosis? Uh, when it comes to specialization in economics, you have finance, what you can take as a specialization, Vanshika. Uh, Dhruv, Twisha, Guni, just correct me if I'm wrong as per our conversation.
Not
We have, yes,
not finance. If you are inclined towards economics, then you can go for IB, which is international business. So it's solely exports, imports, and all that.
Also, if you're inclined towards domestic economics, we have a different school under SIU for economics, like
yes,
apart from this.
absolutely. That's correct. So I hope that answers your question. Krish, you were asking about can I play a sport competitively while studying in Symbiosis? I think Dhruv gave the answer in detail to you that yes, you can definitely play a sport. Study pattern for entrance exam. Shreya, study pattern would be, as in if you're talking about the sections of exam, if that's what you are referring to, then it is QA, LR, VA, and GK. It's a 60-mark paper, what you ideally give. And there is plus one, so there is no negative marking, which is a good part. However, for more details, connect with your mentor and make sure that it is, whatever your questions are related to the entrance exam, I am sure they would be able to help you out. Okay. Neve is asking what additional things which we should add into our routine which will help us for interview as well as entrance exam. I think you just need to be consistent. Neve, make sure that if you are planning for an entrance exam, if you're planning for personal interview, try to speak more, try to write down, as the questions which are being discussed, answers लिखना शुरू करो. Try to speak, किसी से बात करो, मम्मी पापा के सामने वो answers बोलो, ask them what they feel about it. How did you prepare for general knowledge part of the entrance? Hmm. Dhruv, can you just answer quickly? How do you prepare for general knowledge?
Sure. So I had this habit of reading newspapers in the morning. So my general knowledge, like business general knowledge, was covered through Business Standard or Economic Times. I didn't do anything specific out of that. And I was very inclined towards politics in my class 11th and 12th. So I had that basic knowledge of who is leading which government or, what is happening in the country, basically. Also, I was very much into world economics. So I had that quite knowledge, good knowledge of what is happening with strategic alliances and what is happening in the world. So I
Okay.
didn't do anything apart.
That is definitely okay. With continuity to that, if you are an IMS student, there is a portal which everybody get access to, which is My IMS. In that particular section, there is something called GK Zone. So, their GK Zone provides you with weekly updates, and that's where you learn about GK and how you prepare. GK preparation is nothing but just being aware of what is happening around, because it will be a lot happening. It's all mainly, general knowledge, as you're supposed to know. So that particular section will be the best one, and the sessions will keep on happening for GK. The update will be available on Telegram group. I will be sharing the Telegram link here. Join the channel, make sure that you are getting the update for the session, and you go ahead and, just attend the sessions just for a little, better understanding. Do you need to have a good vocabulary to clear the interview? I don't really think so. I am sure Guneet, Trisha, and Dhruv as well would agree with me that you don't need to have a very good vocabulary. If Rishin, you can speak pretty simple English, I think they would be able to understand it clear. If you are not lying, if you're not really kind of, if you're being true to yourself and answering it without any कि ऐसा कुछ बोल दिया जो है नहीं, क्योंकि फिर लोग पकड़ लेंगे. So just be simple, answer what you do, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely simple English what you really need. Bhuvan Mysore is asking details about fees, academics, and hostel. Okay, when it comes to fees, it's going to be on an average, if I am right. Okay, I'll just give you the amount which possibly I am aware of. Okay, it should be around, I think, 5 odd lakhs. Am I right? Trisha, Dhruv, would you be able to kind of answer this question, including
For the
hostel fees? Yes.
Okay, so the tuition fees is like the current fees is 3,25,000 for the Indian student
Mm-hmm.
per
Mm-hmm.
academic year. And if you opt out for the hostel, it's around 2.1 lakh per year for the particular hostel, including mess. So
Okay.
if you accumulate, if cumulative on average, it goes about 5 to 6 lakhs.
Okay. 5 to 6 lakhs on an average. And how exactly is the hostel? Simar wants to understand about the hostel rooms. So either of you are staying in the hostel? Twisha, Guneet, आप में से कोई हॉस्टल में है,
So
रहता है?
yeah. So for the boys, from when we came, I guess there's a new hostel now. But at that time, they gave more preference in the case of boys only. So they give more preference to NRI boys, and they don't have that huge capacity to adjust. So usually boys go in for PGs or flats directly. But for girls, most of the girls, they opt for hostel. They have a huge hostel, and it's just for SCMS. It's for SID, SLS, SLS. It's like different colleges of symbiosis, law, design, and all. So there's a mixture of different girls from different backgrounds and different colleges. So it's actually quite a good accommodation, to be very honest. The rooms are spacious. The food is decent. They have good variety, and they offer 4 times a meal, which is breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner. And you'll actually have fun. I mean, I was there for 1 month, which is like 2, 3 months, and it was quite a good experience. You learn a lot. There you might feel a little weird because considering that you've just stepped out of your house, the comfort of your house, and now you're in a hostel, so obviously things won't be like A class, first class. You're not staying in a hotel, you're staying in a hostel. But obviously you learn to adjust, you become independent, and they are fairly decent.
Fantastic. I hope that answers the question. Symbiosis hostels are decent. 4 times, 4 times a day, what you get the meal, and normally, once you are in the second year, people tend to prefer moving out depending upon the PGs and things like that. Uh, I hope that answers the question about the hostel. We do have a lot of questions, but it will be difficult if I pick up each and every question here. But let's move quickly on the placement side. Okay. Okay. Priyali is asking, well, just take this up quickly because it is about the hostel. Are there single rooms in the hostel? Single room hair
No,
hostel?
it's
No.
twin sharing or triple sharing. But I guess you can talk to them if you want. Then you will have to pay rent for both the beds. In that case, you can have a single room to yourself, but they don't offer single rooms in that sharing.
Okay. That's the answer. Now let's quickly move to the next section, and most importantly, because a lot of people are asking that question, which is about the placement. A while back, when we were interacting, मैं आप तीनों से बात कर रही थी, and you were into the process of internships and placements. So let's talk about the third year and the internships. Does internship start in the in the second year itself? Guneet, starting with you. Uh, Internship. When does the internship start?
So in Symbiosis, as Dhruv earlier mentioned, so we have the placement cell under which we have the internship and career development cell. So their main motive is to provide us with internships, which are mostly on in an online mode, and it is rolled out through via email. It is mostly related to marketing, some HR, very really related to finance, but mostly related to marketing. At our times, it was mostly related to social media marketing. So such kind of internships are rolled out like once in a month. Sometimes if you're quite lucky, you get 2 internships in 1 month, which is for a duration of 2 to 3 months. And some internship if you get from outside. So basic thing is in the first year you have time to do internship, because internship at that time the recruiter also knows that you are of not that kind of skill set, and the tasks which are asked from you is of basic knowledge development, or the knowledge you have, you are putting it into the practical knowledge. When we talk about in the second year in the fourth semester has been divided into 2 parts. One is for studies like each and other semester, and one part was for our corporate internships. So we have a compulsory thing for 1.5 months to complete that 240 hour segment. We had to do an internship. We got some of the opportunities through college also, and most of us found it on our own basis. So I got an internship with Axis Bank for general retail bank, and also the market scoping. So for that, and in the third year, basically in the third year, maximum people don't go for the internship, because I think that corporate internship thing is a major thing which comes to everyone's mind, that one of the bigger internship having the full time, like it is basically you are going to a job between the college, you are properly going 9 to 6, you are going, and then you're working there. So that basically marks the end to doing like small internship which everyone has been doing till this point. And after this point everyone starts focusing more on either if they are the head of the college or any club, they are more focused toward that along with the studies and having good grades, as well as the and when we talk about the placements, so as soon as we start with our third year in the fifth semester, Google form is rolled out in which we have to fill our certificates. We have to tell about our basic details. Other than that, any other activity, extracurricular activity, we have to attach a CV. And for that, we have a pool of the companies which is told us by the means of mail, like 2 weeks prior to the companies coming, what are the options, what are they looking for, what kind of job role are they offering. That is expressed to us via mail, and that starts from August, like almost the end of the August. So every one of us sitting here has applied for that placements, and now we are just waiting for that to come. And I guess this is everything about it.
Okay. Now, internship, do you have to search for the internship yourself through? This question would be to you, or is it something which uh, they help you out with?
Like it's up to you whether like they obviously offer the internships to you, but it's up to you whether you have to go ahead with their internship or you have to look out for internships in the on the LinkedIn or in the job market. So what I preferred was, because I was not liking the quality of internship that the cell provided, I went ahead with LinkedIn, and I like there was this internship I did with an NGO. I visited Odisha for that. I did internship in Mumbai. I was doing an internship, hybrid internship. So it's entirely your decision. Obviously, the internship and career development cell will help you throughout the process. They'll provide you with multiple opportunities. But if you don't like the internship that you're providing, or you don't like the, your profile is not matching with the jobs profile, so you can go ahead on LinkedIn and you can share with a lot of recruiters out there.
Okay, and it is something which is manageable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Uh, I hope the internship questions has been answered. Now, last 10 minutes, I'm sure uh, everybody must be hungry. It's dinner time. Okay. I'll just take few questions quickly and then we'll move to placement. Okay. Is there any tennis team? Quickly, Dhruv, Guneet, Twisha, कोई tennis team है symbiosis में? Krish is asking.
I'm not sure about it.
Not sure. So, Krish, I'm sorry, it's not like clear, but I'm sure because of the sports and extracurricular activities, they do have a club. Not sure if they have a tennis team. What is the weightage of the quant section? Priyali, weightage in terms of quant section, 16 marks is being dedicated to quant. Okay, and as I said, there is no negative marking, which is a better or a good thing there. So there is nothing as a weightage, but 16 marks is being given to that particular section for symbiosis. I hope that answers the question. Do symbiosis have BBA honors? No, symbiosis doesn't have BBA honors. Ujjwal, I hope that answers the question for you. Attendance requirements. Dhruv, would you be able to take up this question, please?
Sure. So the minimum attendance requirement is 75%. However, let's say you are there in a club and you missed out the classes due to club's activities, or you were participating in an event and you missed out classes due to those particular reasons, you get logs for that attendance. So it's quite manageable to get 75%. However, currently I'm sitting on 50%. I'll have to increase it. But yeah, it's quite manageable.
Okay, it is manageable. I think that's a very important question. Uh, Now moving to the placement part, okay, and we will take it as this as a last question because we are way away from the stipulated time. Okay. However, I have noted all the questions, and I would make sure that answers for these questions are posted in the Telegram group for all the students who have asked. So I have the question. I will make sure I get the answers from our panelists, and I would send this document on the Telegram group where I would answer all the question with the name. So hope that would help. Now, coming to the placement aspect, Dhruv, would you be able to help us in terms of what kind of packages Symbiosis offer? What kind of companies do you get? And what is the percentage of students who actually opt for placement?
Okay, so if I talk about our seniors report, like whatever happened with them, so the highest placement, the highest that the package that was given by a company was from Barclays, which was of around 9 lakh rupees. With in hand, the student got around 8.5 lakh rupees. Uh, and there are a plethora of companies that comes to the campus with ranging from Zomato for marketing and sales to Barclays. To companies such as ICICI or Axis Bank, or there are a lot of companies for different specializations. So you have but also Tres Vista is also coming for in the next week. So I remember Tres Vista. So yeah, so basically there are a lot of companies coming to our campus, and the 98% was the placement record in the previous for the previous batch. 98% of the students who applied for the placement or who set for the placement got the placements.
Great. So basically 98% of students who went, so basically pura, the whole batch would not go for the placement. It would be out of that certain students who go for the placement, 90 or 98% of them gets placed. So when the placements are like, does the college help you to prepare for the placements, like for the interviews and things like that?
Yeah, so
They
there are
do.
basic particular trainings for placement. They are called placement training. So this is 3 days extensive workshops conducted by industry experts, founders of companies, founders of resume builder companies. So they'll train you on aptitude test. So I believe Shashank sir from IMS was there for the aptitude test, and like there were industry experts, CEOs of companies who were training you for interview preparation, or how to build your resume, or how to correct your resume.
Fantastic. Now, with this, okay, I would request everyone to just send over your questions. I'm noting all the questions. Latest by Tuesday, there will be a document which will be floated on that particular Telegram channel mentioning very clearly the campus insider Symbiosis. Dhruv, Guneet, and Twisha would help me answering almost 18 questions I have right now in the Q&A box. And latest by Tuesday, everybody would get the answers. I have mentioned the Telegram group. If you want to connect with me, I am there on Telegram, Sanika S. Mate. Connect with me. I hope this particular session was helpful. Again, as I mentioned, answers will be provided to everyone. Just join the Telegram channel and make sure that you are a part of it, because a lot of updates will be given to you all the there. And thank you so much, Trisha, for taking out time, being there for us and helping our students. Uh, we just the last thing before we all kind of disperse here is, what exactly is your feeling in this 3 years, what in this whole 3 years being with Symbiosis?
Okay, so I'll begin. So basically, the exposure that I was expecting from Symbiosis, I believe I quite received that exposure and that industry connection or the networks that I was hoping on. So you get to meet a lot of different students. There's my junior who's leading a business. So I'm learning from my junior that, at that particular nascent age, he is leading a business. So you meet a lot of amazing people out there because you are in an institute which has a brand name associated with it. So the networking opportunity you get, it's like out of the league. And that's what I was hoping for. And I believe I've quite received that.
Fantastic. What about you, Trisha? Is the Trisha there and the network working fine?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right, great. So, Trisha,
Okay,
what have you
so
learned? What exactly your learnings in the last 3 years?
so now that we are in the fifth semester and we're almost nearing the end of our college journey, it's actually something that I'm really grateful for, that I made the right choice by coming into Symbiosis. It has actually been so rewarding in terms of the experience, the exposure, the different clubs that I've been a part of, the different faculty I've interacted with, the peers I've met. Well, I mean, all the activities, fests, and events, it has been a roller coaster ride. And I don't think that the kind of, and the city as well, Pune as a city is amazing. I don't think we've appreciated it much enough in this whole seminar. But this city in itself is a great place for students to be in. It's very adaptive. You can adjust very easily. So for all of you who are, aiming for symbiosis or just still preparing, I would definitely recommend for you to prioritize symbiosis because overall it's an amazing college to be a part of, genuinely.
Last but not the least, Guneet, let's end with you. Let us know what exactly your takeaway is with symbiosis.
So for
Guneet?
sure, I'm pretty sure कि I could have gone to some other college which was near to my hometown, stayed closer to my family, and been comfortable throughout. But my choice to go to SCMS in Pune, as mentioned, that Pune is a world in itself, as everyone has listened to some dialogues in movies. So it is what you are going to experience as soon as you come here. If I was anywhere else, I guess I would have not gotten the chance to experience this kind of perfect mix of a very good academic focused lifestyle and fun-filled social life with my great friends. Like correct mixture was very, very necessary, and the atmosphere was created in such a way. This the faculty and everything. It might be possible that somewhere else I might have gotten something better or something, but the mixture staying in this place, having that kind of mixture, and always had that zeal to have that independent and confident approach towards the life, coming away from the family in such a city, help you with that chance also to discover yourself, to improve yourself. And in the end, the ROI that I believe I will get is very, very good in terms of the package, can be in terms of the moral values, can be in terms of the academic values, anything.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Twisha, Guneet and Dhruv, thank you so much for being a part. With this, we would kind of end this particular session. But again, as I did mention, I will keep my promise and make sure all the answers are given. Thank you again, and all the students and parents who have attended the session. Thank you again. You have a lovely day. Take care, everybody, and see you with the next episode of Campus Insider. Please stay tuned and make sure if you want a lot of information about IIM Rohtak, make sure you stay tuned because next episode will be having IIM Rohtak students and make sure you register for the webinar next. The dates will be sent to you with the update. Thank you so much and have a great day. Good evening.
Thank
Bye bye.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much, ma'am. Bye bye.